if you're moving across the country, this is for you. If you're moving out of your state, this is for you. If you're moving in a state, this is for you. I am an official mover now because I have moved 3 times in the past year. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Simbi Akani, and I make content that will inspire you, motivate you, and just push you deeper into God's purpose for your life. So we are currently on the Life After College series, and in this episode, we are talking about moving out of your house, your home, moving into an apartment, and what that journey was like for me. And hopefully these tips that I share with you can inspire you and just make you feel a lot more prepared for your life after college. Or if you're currently out of college, you just know what it is. You know what it is. There's just some things that you don't get a class on, how to find an apartment, or what to do when there is water gushing through your roof, through your light fixtures onto your bed, and you're just in full panic mode and you don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. No one really prepares you for that stuff. So I'm gonna cut to the chase and I'm gonna give you 5 major moving tips. Number 1, if you're unfamiliar with the state that you're moving to or the town that you're moving to, try and find at least a loose connection that can give you the real tea on the neighborhoods and the communities that you might be thinking of moving into. It's always great to have the perspective of a friend or a person that has either lived there, that grew up there, that maybe interned there, that knows someone that lived there. You know, just having someone that might know a bit more than you do about the communities will make it so much easier. Now, be mindful that gentrification moves faster than human beings. So if they lived there like 8 years ago, I would take their advice with a grain of salt, because that neighborhood they knew before might no longer be what it is today. Number 2, Facebook housing groups are the plug. Facebook should sponsor me to say this, but their housing groups are just so good that they probably don't even need to sponsor me, because sometimes I thought this is good, it just speaks for itself. And Facebook housing groups are definitely a thing that speaks for itself. Now, I'm not saying Facebook Marketplace, Facebook housing groups. You would be surprised that every city or state has a housing group. So if you search New York City housing groups. They may also be called other things like housing for people of color in New York, things like that. In these groups, people post literally almost every hour. Subleases, new leases, places that aren't even posted on the market yet. I found 2 out of 3 of my apartments on Facebook housing groups. Like, you might not find as much luck on apartments.com or Trulia or like all those commercial sites, because they don't really update them as quickly as people update on Facebook housing groups. And if it's a case where you are hoping to look for a roommate, right? That also works, because then you'd be able to see the listing by the person that's looking for a roommate. You can snoop around on their Facebook a little bit, see what they're about. My last place, I had 2 roommates, found the place through Facebook housing groups. They were great. Like, it just worked out for me really well. This place I'm currently in 2. I also have two roommates here. Also found the place through a Facebook housing group, and it has worked out really, really well for me. So I found luck on it. Cannot recommend it enough. Number 3, if you cannot tour the apartment in person because it's too far away or you're moving too soon, if you can ask the housing agent for a walkthrough video tour, just have them film the apartment from like going into the apartment and so on and so forth. Ideally, again, if you know someone that lives in that place, maybe they can go to the apartment for you and help you with that. But the closest you would get to actually feeling what the apartment is like is through a video. Sometimes pictures don't really, do it too much justice. A video walkthrough is something that you can always ask for. If you can actually go there, that would be great, so that you would be able to like see how thin the walls are, see how strong the round is, and like see things that like the agent might not show you, like you can't really see the roof, you can't really look for leaks, like you can't really inspect as best as you would be able to if you were there. So if you can go, great. If you can't, don't worry. Everything in life is a risk, a little bit of risk. So I took the risk in my first apartment and my second apartment. It worked out for me. And my second apartment, it was good, but the walls were kind of thin. And maybe if I went and saw that, I would have known that a bit before. Number 4, know what your make or break things are. Know what you're able to compromise on, but know what your non-negotiables are, right? So is it that you want to have a whole apartment to yourself? Cool. Or do you want roommates, but you must have your own restroom, right? So for me, having my own restroom, my own bathroom was important to me. Although I live with roommates, I have my own room and my own bathroom, you know, so things like that. Do you prefer a shower or a tub? Is that something you care about or no? Is that high on your list or no, right? Do you want a gas stove or an electric stove? High on your list, low on your list. Does the apartment have a microwave? Does the apartment already have lights in it, or will you have to move lights into it? Does the apartment come furnished or not? You know, just things like that. What you're willing to flex on, and that also has an impact on how much you pay. So I learned that you can't get everything, but as long as you get the top 3 things on your list. And last but not least, because you might be moving for work, this is my assumption, or you might just be moving to move, you just want to move away. But if you are moving for work, something that you should really think about is, what will your commute be to work? Right? So now you may not be able to or want to live directly across from your office, but you might be able to find a cheaper place that's an easy commute to work. So is your commute going to be 5 hours, or is your commute going to be 20 minutes on one train that will take you from your apartment to your office directly, and you only have to walk like 2 minutes or so, right? Is it a place that you can walk to in the summer and in the winter as well? So don't be too hung up on trying to live so close to work. Really be open to not living so close, but finding a place that's an easy enough commute for you that you don't have to stress too much about. Because again, you might be able to find a better deal, a better bang for your buck. Because the last thing you want is like having a late day in the office and thinking, oh my gosh, I have to commute all the way back there. And Ubers these days aren't really safe, so we don't really trust Uber. We don't really rate Uber. Now let me stop. Let me stop. Uber didn't do anything to me. Didn't do anything. Again, you may not get everything you want in your first apartment, and that is going to be okay. It's an apartment. You're renting it. Your lease term is probably a year, maybe 10 months. You can move afterwards, right? So don't overthink it. It's amazing to have a nice space. I didn't get it right the first time, the second time, but I think I got it right this time. I live in a very nice neighborhood where I'm comfortable with. I live close enough to work. I have really cool roommates. It's just a nice space, and it was important to me to have a nice space. It was important to me to have a nice kitchen. It was important to me to have enough space to cook. And I didn't know that until I had my first apartment, where there was like no space to even cut onions. Like there was no space for any of that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video helped you a little bit. Let me know. Apartment hunting is exciting. I love looking at houses and just apartments and places. It's just so fun to move into a fresh place. There are so many more things that we could have discussed in this video, but I like to keep it kind of short and kind of sweet for you guys. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, leave a comment below, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all the fun things. That is how you can support me and support this channel's growth. I really appreciate it. Come back next week. We'll be talking about more post-grad, life after college things. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know what that was. Anyway,